Hi guys, Sean from UDJ here with a DIY project. What I wanted to do is take my Chauvet Slimpar 64s and convert those to a permanent wireless solution. Now, I searched online quite a bit about how to do this. I couldn't find too much, but I have noticed the wireless and battery powered DMX uplighting that are out there currently. They have wireless built in, and of course the batteries. We purchased these units some time ago, right when the battery and the wireless was coming out, and we invested quite a bit of money on the Chauvet Slimpar 64s. They're great 10mm fixtures here, and I hate to get rid of them, but as we go along, we are purchasing the wireless and battery powered units. But these right here, I didn't want those to go to waste because they are really good units, so I wanted to get an opportunity to try and some kind of way to put wireless solution into them built in. So currently what we've been doing with these units, as you can see, we go out on eBay or other places online, and we purchase these DMX 512 wireless kits. So really neat units. They work, kind of bulky, kind of long. If you see, we can put this inside of here. I mean, it doesn't even hit the bottom. You have to kind of finagle it to get it to sit up right. Then it sits up like this, where it's, you can't really get it flat, and it's really hard. So I wanted to come up with another solution. Oh, well, plus we also had to run the power. So bad enough, we're already digitating IEC power back and forth to each fixture, trying to find plugs. We're also plugging in power to power this wireless stick. So pretty much inefficient for us. We know the battery powered and wireless, they work great. Just set it and forget it. These right here, we have to do a little extra wiring. It takes about 30 minutes or more, depending on the venue. So I have a wireless solution that I came up with, and I want to share that with you guys today. So what we have so far is, of course, a Chauvet Slimpar RGBA. I've already done one. You can see the turnout of it. Here's a Slimpar RGBA. You can see the back of it. Pretty simple. What we did there, we actually did a built-in wireless. See the antenna there? And then what we did also is, had to drill out on the side there. There's the light to change the colors for the 7 channels, and then there's a button to change the DMX or the channel setting. Again, doing this will void the warranty. These fixtures are still currently available from Chauvet. They're great, inexpensive way to get uplighting to your events for the price. $130 for these. They're great. I just wanted to get a good, cool wireless solution. So I want to show you in our next segment, our next part here, actually what we did to put a permanent solution into these Chauvet fixtures. Hi guys, I'm back. I wanted to give you information about the wireless PCB board and what's inside of the Chauvet Slimpar 64 RGBA. This unit actually has 12 volts inside of it. Our wireless PCB boards, they require a 5-volt power to power it up. So I had to find a way to convert from 12 volts to 5 volts for the wireless board. So searched around a little bit. Had to come up with an inexpensive. We wanted to make this as inexpensive as possible, because I know the wireless sticks are anywhere from $24 to $80, depending on what you find out there on eBay or on the internet. And I wanted to find a really inexpensive solution to actually do this. So to convert from 12 volts that's inside of the Chauvet Slimpar, I found a simple car charger. This is a standard USB car charger that plugs into any car marine. That's comes in at 12 volts or 24 volts, I do believe, and it plugs right into your cigarette lighter. And now you're going to get a USB here with a little light that's going to give you 5 volts at 1,000 milliamps. I do believe the board, PCB board, wireless PCB board, requires at least 750 milliamps. And you know, a few extra milliamps won't hurt anything. So especially the inrush current, it's totally fine. So this is my solution. So let's take this little unit apart, because all thing I really want out of this is the converter board. Basically converts it from 12 volts to 5 volts. So let's see what we have here. Take my little tweezers. eBay, got a pack of 10 of these for 10 bucks. So that's about $1 a piece. So didn't really cost me much. So that's $1 added to the price of the wireless PCB boards. So clips, inexpensive thing. Look at that thing, just popped right apart. And then I'll take my tweezers here and just open it up. They're not even glued in there. And it does have a little screw here, right about here somewhere that you can't really see. I basically just pull it apart like that. One section comes off, another section comes right on off, and then I'm left with you know, the converter board, a power converter board that converts it from 12 volts in to 5 volts out. So what do we have here? So we have a little PCB board here. Right in the front, that's where the spring goes in. These don't even have fuses in them, so this is probably a good buy then. So right here would be the power in 12 volts. Right here, this little big bubble right there, that's going to be the ground, that little big bubble. You can actually ground it to any part of this USB part. We're not going to use a USB. We're going to basically, once we get everything wired, we're going to shrink wrap everything and put little holes in it to basically keep the, so heat will dissipate out of it. So that's really easy. This is our main part. So once we solder this part, and then right here, knowing the USB signal chain or wiring diagram, 1 is going to be our hot. 2 and 3 are going to be like if you had your iPod and you need to connect to the computer. It's going to be like a data in, data out, and then number 4 is going to be your ground. So you know, the wires on the wireless DMX boards, they're very small. So it should I can actually solder those right there. I got a really good nice soldering iron, so I can actually do that really easy. Doesn't take much heat or anything to get these things soldered. So after I do that, I shrink wrap everything and get a wire on it. And I don't have one here, but I get a wire on it, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now let's open up the Slimpar. I kind of partly took it apart. We actually have 6 simple little screws. I'm going to actually unscrew one of them here. I got most of it off. I'll unscrew one of them. Again, this will void your warranty, so don't, you know, if you have something under warranty and you're really concerned about your warranty, don't open the fixture. You'll definitely avoid your warranty. Okay, so that's done. Then, now we actually have the LED board. Really nice board sitting here. There's actually 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. You kind of got to look in there a little bit. I've already taken out 3 of them already. So I'm going to take out 1 more here. Be very careful not to damage anything inside these things. And typically what I do, I just get my hand in there and put it in my little bucket here so I don't lose anything. And I just set this unit off to the side. It does work well when you take the yoke off, when you start doing it, before you do this project, take the yoke off, you can get a nice flat surface, and then the wires won't strain and you won't break anything. What's inside of here is very simple. Here is our 110 coming in from our IAC cables, going to a power board. This power board converts it down from 110. I do believe it's a switching one, so if you have 240, it'll actually switch it, so it's a smart one. So it'll convert it down to 12 volts, and this is our 12 volt wires that we're going to basically use, this red and black, right out of the back of the power board, to basically wire into our with our USB boards. So right here is a control board. Right here is the DMX in and the DMX out. That goes for the DMX in, DMX out. And then we have our display board. We're not going to mess with anything. One thing we're going to be messing with here, we're going to splice into these cables. We're not going to cut them. We're going to splice into these cables here to add completed USB inverter. I'm going to call it inverter. So here it is. You can see I did the ground there, and then I also soldered it right to the end of the input here. So that leads me to two nice good leads. We actually have some shrink wrap on the wires, and once we get everything wired in like this and sealed, and we'll shrink wrap that as well to make this a nice good make a good seat there. Then we'll adjust it and we'll get it up in this corner. This will be all shrink wrapped and all the wires connected, and we're going to basically set that right in there and hot glue it right in there, so it makes a nice tight fit inside of there. So perfect little unit. So then when we get the wireless PCB boards, they're actually about this long from this corner to this corner, so they fit perfectly up in there without really any kind of glue to hold it in. And then once you get in there, and you'll have a LCD light, a LED light that comes out, and the switch, and it sits right about in this section up in here. And we basically measured it, and we have a little template that we use now to basically cut. To basically drill a little hole there about a 1/4 inch each side, and that's going to stick out our little light so we know what channel it's on. And then we have another button down the bottom so we can change the wireless DMX channel. So once that's all done, we basically then hot glue down in here to hold it in place, and then we take our antenna and we find a spot. We have a spot right over here that we determined that's where a good spot to actually put our antenna right in this spot over here. So that'll stick out right there. So let's get started, and I'll come back and show you our next step of putting things together. Okay, guys, here at my workbench that I use, we're going to basically solder up the USB inverter that goes from 12 volts in to USB 5 volts. We have a little light there. So what we're going to do, 12 volts in, so we need our hot in. That's going to be this area right here. That's where the spring went. And then right here, there's a little bubble there. I'm not sure you guys can see that. I'm trying to get up close. Little bubble right there. That's our ground. You can also solder it to one of the sides of the ground of the USB, because it's all part of the ground section. So everything's all grounded via this part too as well. I like to solder right to the board. That way I know it's a little cleaner for me. It looks nicer, just for my own personal looks. But you can solder the ground right to any part of this, as long as it's not touching anything. So let's get started here. So I'm going to put this unit down here, and we're going to grab a wire. And I kind of have these pre-cut. I already pre-cut them. I kind of don't know the lengths I already need, so I pre-cut them. So we don't need much on the end here. We just need enough to get a good connection here. Because we want to do is fold it or bend it a little bit and make sure the wires are kind of in one order. This part right here, I don't twist it or anything like that. I don't graze it or like that, because I know I need to get plenty of heat on this this terminal here. So I try to just keep it kind of frayed, so I get a good surface area. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to use my little tweezers here. I also use a little wrench because I don't have any kind of other way to hold this thing without having a second person, to hold this for me. So I kind of just do it this way. Makes it a little easier for me. It's sitting on there nice and neat. So what I'm going to do here next, I'm just going to grab my soldering iron. I got my soldering iron somewhere around about 400 degrees. Your soldering iron can basically differ. Trying to do this with one of those inexpensive soldering irons, they just don't get hot enough. They only get maybe about 300 degrees, maybe 350. But you need something that's going to be pretty hot. That's going to work better for you when you're soldering. So try and go out and get a good soldering iron. So what I'm going to do is kind of put my tip right along the right on the wire, and try to get some on the terminal block as well, just to kind of get it heated up. And I'm going to put a little solder on it and let it get down in there. Let it all melt down in there, get a good solder. Again, I'm no soldering expert. I'm more of a hobbyist, do-it-yourselfer. So I just try to make sure I get things done correctly as much as I can, and just get it on there nice and neat. Make sure you clean your tip off after every use, and you should be good. Okay, so I should have a nice good, pull that right out here. Should have a nice good connection here. Look at my connection. Nice connection there. Really easy, and it's not going to come apart. The next part of this is going to be where our bubble is, get our ground to this little bubble here. So let's go ahead and put that in my little inexpensive holder. And I can just have that sitting there, and I grab a ground wire that I know that it's already pre-cut. These are actually cut a little longer because I have to kind of go, you know, beyond that, beyond the where the terminal is for the hot. I need to go a little beyond it, so I kind of cut them a little longer to kind of keep them about the same. But I'm going to cut them anyway at the ends once I get it wired into the light. So here again, we want to do the same thing. We want to get our cutters, wire strippers, and you want to basically do the same thing and get that going. What I'm going to do on this particular one, I'm actually going to tighten it up here, and then I'm going to actually do a 90-degree angle as well. So I got a 90-degree angle, and the reason why I do this 90-degree angle is because I wanted to get this wire away from any kind of points that are sticking up, because these are coming from the factory. A lot of times these things are soldered in, they're not cut quite, and they might have something kind of sticky up there. And I don't want to, you know, puncture this insulation. So what I do, I just make sure I get it off to the side. So what I do here, I braze this particular wire first. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to braze it. I'm not really that good of a brazier or anything like that, but I just kind of know what I'm doing with the soldering iron. So I just heat it up a little bit, heat the wire up. I won't heat up too much because that wire would definitely, insulation will melt. I kind of just get some stuff on there, both sides, braze it, not too much on the heat. And then what I try to do, put a little bit more on it, because I want to kind of bubble it, because I need a little more on the ground. So it makes it a little easier to get on this small little ground area. So once I have that, what I want to do, I'm going to take this right here, this 90-degree, and I'm going to put it right there. This can be a little tricky if you don't have the right stuff, but I actually have the right stuff to do this. So I'm going to do here. What I have noticed, there is a film on here, a factory film they have on here. So a lot of times you can get your iron, and you get your iron will sit on there for a minute. It's like, okay, well, I can't get that thing here. So this actually is pretty good. It's actually melting pretty good. So you find a good spot, you can actually melt it a little bit. And then what I do here is get it melted, and I take a look. I put a bit of bead on that too, because I need to get this up. I'm not worried about how high it's going to go, because it's all going to be done in shrink wrap. It's just a ground, and it's not going to cause me too much problems. So I got a little extra on there. Always clean off your tip. Make you have a good tip. Let it heat it back up a little bit, and it don't have to be soaked in water. So here I got a little extra on there. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of try to get over here and try to get this here melted a little bit. That section there. And get this ground right on there. So I'm putting it right on the wire. And sometimes you got to get on both parts. And there we go. And just get it all around there where it sits real nice and neat. There we go. And this one kind of came apart a little bit. So what I'm going to do here, let that sit for a second. Another thing you can do too, once that's on there, you can actually try to hold everything in place. Again, I'm not an expert at this as far as soldering, but I do the best I can and take my time. So what I'm going to do here is just put a little bit more on the top, just to make sure I get a good section. Don't have to touch the wire too much, get a little bit on there. It doesn't require a whole lot. Just to get it on there. There we go. Just get a good, so I know it's on there really good without beating up. Just there we go. Get it on there really good. There we go. There we go. So I know that's not going nowhere. Okay, so that's not going nowhere. Don't need much solder. So that's on there pretty good. I can check it out. It's on there pretty good. Off a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. I see a little wire there. I'm going to clean up a little bit. But after I do that, I just kind of fold it in there like this. And then I have all that wires ready to go. So what I did, I actually have a packet of miscellaneous shrink wrap. So shrink wrap, you know, you don't have to do it, but I don't want to make my project look a little nicer. So, you know, if somebody opens it up and go, hey, what's that? You know, I can kind of tell them that, hey, it's like my little project that I did, and I want to make sure it looks kind of up to code and that kind of stuff, and you know, just something I want to do. So here I take this, get it all the way to the end. I measure it kind of about down to there, so I know where I want to cut it. I'm going to grab me a cutter, cut that, You can use whatever you need. And then what I do here is just make sure all the wires are in order, straight. Go ahead and put your shrink wrap in there. Put your shrink wrap on there. Okay, so we have that there. And just make sure everything's all straight. Get it all the way butted up against there. And then typically what I use is my barbecue torch. You want to use the blue flame. You don't want to use the yellow flame. Blue flame's a little hotter, and it'll basically, and you just quickly just get it around there, and it does it real quick. Fortunately, I'm out of juice on this, so I have a handy dandy lighter here that's sitting around, so I'm going to use that. So blue flame. All right, and just kind of go along it, turn it every once in a while. Make sure you use the blue flame. You don't want to get any fire to it. And just to keep it on there, keep everything together. There we go. Don't need a whole lot. So there it is. Let it cool off a little bit. I've seen the spot I missed. There we go. All right. So now, once this is all done, this is my USB inverter. So I actually can now connect these two wires to the output of the 12 volts on the power supply of the Chauvet fixture. So here it is right here, and I can cut these to length and get them onto the fixture. So that's one unit. I got a bunch of more to go. It took me 5 minutes to complete each USB inverter. Here's a 1 minute time lapse.
Take me there, wherever you find your peace of mind. I'd like you to take me where you like to go, wherever that may be. I just wanna be with you, abandon this reality. Whenever you decide, you know, anytime at all is good for me. 'Cause you take me, take me, oh baby, you take me there. 'Cause you take me, you can take me, oh baby, you take me there. Like the way you understand what's going on inside of me. Like the way you take your time with the way you think about anything. Maybe it's a part of you just bringing out the best in me.
Part 2, what we're going to be doing is installing the USB inverters, the wireless DMX boards, along with the antenna, in the Chauvet Slimpar 64. So click on the link below to get to part 2. And thanks for watching.